Welcome. You're here for a reason. It means there's a question inside you that you've been avoiding. Today, we'll break down something that controls your decisions far more than you realize: your emotions. If this message hits something inside you, subscribe. Here we speak honestly. And tell me in the comments, which emotion pulls you off your path the most? It's time to call the enemy by its name. Emotions are not you. Remember this first, and then you can argue with anything else. Emotions are older than you, older than your personality, older than every story you tell yourself. They are ancient survival signals, inherited along with the body. Once they helped primitive creatures escape predators and starvation. Today, these same reactions decide whether you skip a workout, humiliate yourself in an argument, ruin an opportunity you've been waiting for, or fall back into the same pattern you swore to break. Fear, anger, shame, envy, euphoria, desire. These are chemical spikes. They rise from the depths of the body faster than you can think. You feel the hit first, and only then begin to invent explanations. Reaction comes first. Rationalization comes second. You don't choose what to feel, but after that, you always have a choice: what to do with it. The problem isn't emotions. The problem is that people fuse with them. They say, "I am angry, I am anxious, I am weak," as if those feelings were their identity. But an emotion is only a wave. It arrives, peaks, and fades. And you are the one who can stand on the shore and observe it, or jump into the storm and drown in every surge. Emotions don't understand the concept of long-term. They don't care about your future, your goals, or your plans. They operate in pure here and now. Right now it's scary, hide. Right now it hurts, strike. Right now it's hard, quit. Right now it feels good, cling to it. This system is perfect for survival, but it's useless if you want to build, evolve, and control your direction. Look honestly. How many decisions in your life were not made by you, but by an emotion in the moment? A breakdown in a message, harsh words fired on autopilot, an impulsive purchase, refusing an opportunity because it felt off. One emotional spike, and you've already stepped the wrong way. One spike, and the consequences last for months. Emotions are like internal weather. You wake up and it's already raining. You meet someone and it's already storming. You see a headline and you're already shaken. You don't control what appears in the sky, but you choose whether to walk into the rain without cover or take an umbrella. It's the same with emotions. You don't have to shut them off, but you must learn to live above them. Remember this simple truth: emotions are signals, not commands. They show, here is fear, here is pain, here is pleasure, here is danger. But the final decision is always yours. The moment you stop mistaking an emotion for truth, it stops commanding your life. And that's when something resembling strength begins to emerge from the chaos of feelings. Emotions always arrive quietly. They don't ask for permission, don't announce themselves, don't knock. They simply appear, like a sudden wind that shifts the direction of the sand. And the most deceptive thing about them is this: they control your life precisely when you're convinced you're in control. Every decision you make is a reflection of the state you're in. You can be intelligent, disciplined, rational, Yet a single emotional spike can knock you off your path as if your strengths never existed. That's why a person who is emotionally weak will always lose to the one who knows how to stay cold. Look at yourself, honestly. How many times have you destroyed something important, not because you wanted to, but because a sudden emotion swallowed you whole? How many times did you avoid a step toward a better future because fear was louder than meaning? How many times did you say too much in anger and then spend weeks repairing the damage? How many times did you abandon work, plans, or training because your mood collapsed? You think it was you acting? No, it was the emotion acting. And you simply lifted the barrier for it. Where emotions are stronger than logic, life becomes a script. A person turns into a reaction-based machine, responding to every stimulus. His choices become predictable. If sad, he stops. If scared, he runs. If uncomfortable, he quits. If pleasure appears, he clings to it. The further he goes down this path, the less he has of his own will, strategy, or direction. Emotions are masters of disguise. They appear in the form of thoughts. I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. This isn't for me. I don't feel right about it. I need to feel inspired first. I'll wait until the mood is better. But these thoughts are just pretty outfits emotions wear to appear rational. In truth, they are the same chemical spikes that don't care where you're heading or what you're trying to build. Emotion always seeks immediate relief. That's its nature. Remove discomfort right now. But any long-term goal is discomfort stretched over time, which means emotions will always stand against your goals. Always. You want to get stronger? Emotion says rest. You want to earn more? Emotion hands you procrastination. You want to change yourself? Emotion sends anxiety. You want to finish something important? Emotion brings fatigue. And if you don't notice how emotions shape your behavior, you won't live your own life. You'll live by their waves. The most frightening thing about emotions is not their strength. The most frightening thing is that people don't even realize they're being controlled. When feelings become your decisions, you're no longer the author of your own fate. You become a passenger, carried wherever the internal wind blows. And until you learn to see these mechanisms, you'll keep believing it's just your personality, circumstances, or how things turned out. But nothing just turns out. Your life is either built by reason or destroyed by emotion. There is no third option. When emotions become your decisions, you stop being the author of your life. You turn into someone who reacts instead of choosing. You don't act. You respond to impulses, to triggers, to sudden internal spikes that rise on their own. Emotions make you predictable. Not special, not unique, not alive. Predictable. Your mind follows an ancient loop. You feel, you react, you explain the reaction afterward. You think you're making choices, but in reality, you're just obeying internal nudges, as if someone inside you pressed the buttons for you. In emotional states, a person loses depth of perception. You don't see the future, only the moment. You don't hear logic, only your feelings. You don't detect real threats, only fear. You don't see opportunity, only anxiety. And the most dangerous part, in those moments you are absolutely convinced you are right. Emotions give an illusion of clarity. A feeling becomes an argument. A spike becomes truth. A mood becomes fact. This illusion is what makes emotions such a powerful trap. When emotions outweigh reason, you become dependent on circumstances. If the day is good, you're productive. If something goes wrong, everything collapses. If someone says something pleasant, you're inspired. If something unpleasant, you're broken. If you're in the mood, you work. If not, the world can wait. This isn't life, brother. This is a way of existing that depends entirely on the outer world. It means one thing. Anyone can control your state if they can trigger a reaction in you. A small provocation, and you're angry. A harmless situation, and you're anxious. One minor inconvenience, and the whole day is ruined. One phrase, and your spirit collapses. Autopilot is not for a man who wants control, strength, and direction. Autopilot is the mode of someone shaped by circumstances, not someone who shapes them. When you live through emotions, you live according to what happens inside, not what you want to build outside. You lose the ability to move toward necessity and start moving toward whatever the emotion pulls you into. But there's another side. The moment you see the mechanism, it loses power. When you notice that a feeling is just a feeling, when you separate reaction from decision, when you stop believing every internal impulse, that's the moment you become the author again. True freedom begins where automatic reaction ends. Only there does life begin to belong to you, not to your emotions. The most destructive mistake a person makes when trying to become stronger is attempting to suppress their emotions. To clamp them down, ignore them, hide them, pretend they don't exist. He believes this is control. He thinks that if he stays silent, never shows weakness, never acknowledges what he feels, he becomes stronger. But suppression doesn't make you strong. It makes you fragile. When you suppress emotions, you don't escape their influence. You simply stop seeing how they control you. It's like closing your eyes during a storm and hoping the wind becomes less dangerous, but the storm only intensifies, and you remain blind. Suppressed emotions don't die. They accumulate. They seek new paths. They transform into exhaustion, irritability, apathy, loss of focus, disgust for the very work that once inspired you. Try to suppress fear, and you lose courage. Try to suppress anger, and you lose boundaries. Try to suppress sadness, and you lose depth. Try to suppress anxiety, and you lose your ability to act. Suppression is a war against yourself, a war where there are no winners. Emotional control is not about silencing what you feel. Emotional control is the ability to hear your emotions without becoming their servant. It's the ability to observe the internal spike, understand its origin, and choose an action that aligns with your goals rather than your current state. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel anger and still speak calmly. You can feel exhaustion and still take a step. You can feel doubt and still remain loyal to your decision. That is control. It's not about becoming a stone. It's about becoming someone who stands above his own chemistry. When you suppress an emotion, you become a container filling to the brim, destined to explode one day. But when you control an emotion, you become a container that chooses what to hold and in what amount. Control is awareness, not resistance. Observation, not stubbornness. It's the ability to tell yourself, I feel this, I understand this, but I choose something else. You don't have to love what you feel. You don't have to accept it, but you must see it. Because as long as you see the emotion, It cannot control your hands, your words, your day, or your life. Suppression makes you weak. Control makes you the master. And between these two states lies a chasm. But the step from suppression to conscious control is what truly transforms your strength. Emotional control is not about being calm just for the sake of calmness. It's not about looking collected. It's about survival. In a world where people drown not because of difficult circumstances, but because of their reactions to them. It's about living strategically rather than instinctively. It's about gaining control over your life at a level most people never even realize exists. Emotions are the root of almost every long-term failure. You can be talented, intelligent, strong, but if your emotions are stronger than your decisions, you will lose. Not to the world, to yourself. Nearly all personal failures are emotional in nature. Laziness is not lack of energy, it's emotional exhaustion. Procrastination is fear of starting. Addiction is an escape from anxiety. Harsh words are spikes of anger. Indecision is the pressure of doubt. Loss of discipline is obedience to mood. Abandoning goals is fatigue mistaken for truth. Emotions always offer the easiest option. Quit, wait, relax, postpone, surrender. And if a person obeys these internal voices, he becomes someone who is easy to break. Because all it takes is triggering the right emotion, and he will destroy his own progress for you. But when you control your emotions, everything changes. You stop living reactively. You stop depending on moods, circumstances, or other people's words. You become someone who cannot be knocked off course. Emotional control is the foundation of discipline. Discipline is doing what's necessary when you don't feel like doing it. And emotions are precisely the force that creates don't feel like it. If you can act independently of your emotional state, you gain a tremendous advantage over those who can't, because they will wait for inspiration, for motivation, for the right moment, for support. But you will simply act. Emotional control is the core of true confidence, not the kind built on hype, energy, or excitement, but the quiet, unwavering kind. A person who controls his emotions ceases to fear storms because he knows, no matter what he feels, he can still move forward. Emotional control is the key to strength, not physical or social strength, inner strength, the ability to function in every state, when it's frightening, when it's painful, when it's heavy, when it's empty. It's the ability to choose the long term over the immediate, purpose over impulse, direction over emotion. When you control your emotions, you control your actions. When you control your actions, you shape your character. And when you shape your character, you build your destiny. It all begins with one simple truth. If you cannot control what happens inside, you will never control what happens outside. A person who has learned to control their emotions doesn't just change outwardly. They transform at the core. Their strength doesn't shout, doesn't press, doesn't demand attention. It is quiet, cold, collected, and that is exactly why it unsettles people around them. A person who controls their emotions never looks tense. They don't run from their state, don't fight it, don't try to hide it. They know what they feel, understand why it appeared, and consciously choose what to do next. Where others react automatically, this person acts deliberately. They can feel anger and still control their voice. They can feel fear and still keep moving forward. They can feel doubt and still commit to their direction. They can feel tired and still finish what must be done. This ability to act independently of their emotional state makes them almost untouchable. Such people do not live according to moods. They live according to principles. Their decisions don't sway with internal turbulence. And because of this, they achieve what others consider impossible. A person who controls emotions no longer depends on external sources of strength. They don't need motivational content, support, ideal conditions, perfect health, or a good morning. They can work in chaos, create in silence, move through uncertainty. Their stability comes from within, not from the world around them. You cannot manipulate them. You cannot provoke them. You cannot knock them off their path with a careless phrase or someone else's mood. They remain themselves even when everything around is falling apart. They don't argue with the storm. They walk through it. They don't battle their feelings. They observe and choose. They don't waste energy on reactions. They invest it into action. This calm power makes them dangerous to chaos, to weakness, to the habits that keep others stagnant. They don't live by inner spikes, but by an inner spine. A spine that failure cannot bend, circumstances cannot break, and emotions cannot soften. A person who controls emotions is someone you can trust with direction, in life, in goals, in the future, because their decisions do not depend on a temporary state. They move while others hesitate. They stay the course while others drown in themselves. They build while others react. Emotions in them don't disappear, but they turn into indicators on the dashboard, not hands on the wheel. Such a person becomes the master of their vector, the master of their character, the master of their life.